Maiyegun làwọn tó lódodo. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwọn tó lódodo. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun Diary. So I'm trying to check all our platforms they are running. You can share the video too. Invite your friends and everyone that needs to be here. I'm sharing the video too, so you should. Maiyegun today. Maiyegun today. Maiyegun today. Maiyegun today. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun today. Maiyegun today. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you very much for joining me. This is Maiyegun Live. I'm just playing about with a lot of things, so don't be surprised if you see this. This background is designed by the young man that is going to be the official graphic designer for Diaspora Radio International UK. A young man from Nigeria. So it's a pleasure having you with me tonight. There's a lot of things we are going to keep trying. There's a lot of things until September 1st, when we are going to really launch the Diaspora Radio to reach far and wide. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. And please share the broadcast. That's the easiest thing to do before we get started. I do that all the time. And that's why I listen to the music first, so that I'll use the opportunity to invite those that should be here. You know, the problem that many people hate to admit is the fact that, number one, many agree that there is absolute problem with the system they are operating in Nigeria. However, many also choose how they want to share the blame or the responsibility that their political leaders are shying away from. So they decided to choose who they will, how they embrace their thieves. So in Nigeria, Nigerians, as for those who still continue to claim and believe strongly in that one Nigeria, so for those who believe strongly, they believe that their own thieves, no matter how terrible you think they are, no matter how much you think they steal, it doesn't really matter if that thief comes from their own region or tribe. It doesn't matter even if they are living in abject poverty, like almost every part of the country. It doesn't matter. They want to own their thieves. And because they want to own their thieves, when you expose thieves, they will come for you. They will tell you, why don't you talk about Yoruba thieves? When you speak about Yoruba thieves, they will say, why don't you talk about the Igbo thieves? When you speak about the Igbo thieves, they will say, oh, why are you talking about Igbo thieves? Why don't you talk about the Hausa Fulani thieves? When you speak about Hausa Fulani thieves, they will say, oh, you are being biased. Why don't you talk about the Ijo thieves? So it all goes on and on and on and on, because majority of them, they have owned their thieves. There are those that own their own thieves based on religion. It doesn't matter what that person steals. It doesn't matter the amount or the seriousness of the crime committed. The moment they check and they say, oh, he's a Christian. Is he the first person to do it? What about the other person? Is it because she's a Christian? Hey, they own their thieves through religion. Oh, my friend, shut up. You hate Muslims. Everything you have been criticizing all Muslims. You hate Muslims. And that's why you are biased. Because their own thieves are Muslims. So when you speak about them, to them, you are attacking their religion because they own the thieves that you are talking about. And when you expose them, to them, that's a direct attack on their religion. And on this note, having understand the type of people I am dealing with, so I say, if you come up and disagree with any of the names I call these thieves, because one thing I do very well is that I don't generalize. When I want to call any criminal in Nigeria a criminal, or I want to call him, a thief, I will give you evidence. So when you become offended or you become angry because of that, just be honest to yourself. You are not angry because that person is a thief. You are only angry because to you, we are talking about your thief, the one you never really see as a thief. Some of you own your own thieves and criminals that you call leaders. You own them and you claim them, you want them and you hug them all the time simply because they belong to the bogus political parties they are creating for you in that place. I understand all of that. And when you bring up your sentiment with all this long explanation about, hey, my friend, Maiyegun, you should understand the fact that, well, I understand everything, my brother. You are free. You are very free to defend your own thief. What you shouldn't do is to drag us into it by using all manner of trickish, stupid explanation to explain and back and defend your own thief. Just own them. You love your thief. So, for those who are PDP, what do you call it? The PDP votrons, the articulated morons, they will bite you to pieces if you tell them how thievery those they call their leaders are. They will bite you because to them, they love their thieves. They do, passionately. And they will write endless epistles to defend those thieves they call their leaders too, because as long as they are PDP, my friend, they are not really worse. We'll manage them because they love their thieves. The same way they do is the same way Buhari didderness love their own thieves and criminals too. They love them based on all these parameters I listed. So when they come here with all their sentiment and all of that, we know them. I don't manage them for years. And some of them cannot pretend for too long. Okay? We are speaking on breaking up of Nigeria today. And it seems that it is gaining momentum. Many people are speaking about it. But wait. And because say election no today, politics no today. You see that guy shouting Biafra, Biafra with you on Facebook, You see that young man shouting Oduduwa Republic with you on Facebook. Wait till 2022 and you begin to monitor them again. You will realize that They will continue to tell you they support that. But if you dare tell the people not to vote for either PDP or APC, you will see their true colors. Then you realize that they are all weather lunatics, and we know them. Now, let's get down to the business before you begin to own your thieves. Niger Delta, for years, we have been regaled. We have been, sonorized by the tales of the billions and billions of dollars made from crude oil sale by Nigeria and the abandonment of the area, including the degenerated, oil spill that has destroyed their own livelihoods there. Apart from the fact that they neglected the area for years, and everyone who came forward to try to say, I want to fix Niger Delta, has made billions from it, only to leave the region worse off. In fact, at some point, you will believe their leaders had this new political solution to their problem. For the first time, they fought and they won what they called 13% derivation formula, which gives them 13% of every oil sale in Nigeria. Before sharing the money, they have to give them the 13% first to hasten and help development in the region. But rather than develop the region, all their leaders became multi-billionaires who later invested in banditry that, they call them militancy. Militants who they bought guns for to terrorize and intimidate, only just to extort, not for development, not for progress of Niger Delta. And they will continue to claim they love Niger Delta, so to say. So for years, they managed in this democracy, they managed to get out from Nigeria. They got 13% derivation from that. That means 13% from oil producing for all oil producing states. Many of them didn't explain this to their people in Niger Delta, right? They also got NDDC, Niger Delta Development Commission, by Obasanjo. And the purpose was to at least appoint the children, sons and daughters of Niger Delta to fix the problem of Niger Delta. Mind you, the 5 states they call Niger Delta, right? The 5 states is right there controlled by the people who are Ijos, Ishekiris, Urubos, and many, many of them, all those tribes from Niger Delta region. Are you with me? So they were in charge of their destiny from 1999, right? Until tomorrow, they are still campaigning for Ogoniland, cleaning of Ogoniland. But guess what? They have received billions of dollars. Billions. It will take just $1 billion or $2 billion to clean the entire Ogoniland. Do you know there are one single militant and there one single terrorist who has made his own billion for claiming to be a militant, defending Niger Delta resources? They are stealing our resources and all of that and all that. But they said they were fighting for their people. They left the place worse off. They became billionaire. $2 billion is all they need to clean the entire Ogoniland that has become campaign material for every criminal trying to rule Nigeria. In 2023, they will tell you about the plan to clean Ogoniland, and they will award the contract for it, and they will share the money. Since Buhari came to power, okay, so that for those who might say, but it's been like that for so long, I'm not going to bore you with a long story. The Buharidins and the Buhari Diderins in 2015, the Mumumadus, the Bele lecturers, the Mumu lecturers, they told you then in 2015 that they were bringing you change, something that will stop, the continuous stealing and looting of your commonwealth. So that was meant to be all across board, right? Everyone working or appointed by Buhari were meant to be upright. At least they shouldn't be thieves. But the reverse is the case. For the past 5 years, Buhari has managed to appoint the following people in charge of Niger Delta, NDDC. You can see on your screen, right? So for 5 years, they've had 5 MDs. I don't want to know the numbers of what do you call the numbers of ministers they've had, but they've had 5 MDs. They were all thieves. Okay, the current one, which is now fighting Akpabio, she is also a thief. She's been working with them one way or the other, and when the probe continues, right, she just don't want to go down alone, and she wants to drag Akpabio down as well. Akpabio himself, a born thief, was made the minister of Niger Delta. He was governor for 8 years, and when he left that position after 8 years, he left with a stolen corruption baggage of 150 billion naira. That's how much he stole for 8 years. That's how much they found that he stole. And they confiscated some of his properties. He was meant to stand trial for EFCC, a corruption trial at the EFCC. But rather than go on to defend himself and clear his name, Buhari appointed him as a minister. All of a sudden, the corruption case against, meanwhile, it decamped from PDP to APC. So all of a sudden, his corruption case was wiped clean, and he became a clean person under Buhari. And from the allegation of this lady, which I'm going to let you listen to right now, it's very important you listen to her in this case, because it's going to be like a catch-up for what I'm going to speak on. Listen to her. She's more detailed than me.
I wanted a contract to myself without them knowing about it. I'm sure that's what they told you people yesterday. Apparently, Dr. Cairo never sits in the office, so he doesn't know the workings and the bureaucracy of payments in the office. One, I am just a viewer of the platform that make payments in NDDC. There are different steps to take before payments are made. One, that Lassa fever issue, obviously they didn't carry him along. Nobody makes any payment in NDDC without Godswill Akpabio's approval. When we first came to NDDC, on the day of going for the inauguration, he told me in the car that, Madam MD, if you don't do what I say, the same pen with which I use to sign your letter, it will be the same pen that I will use to remove you. He said the first thing I should do when I get to Port Harcourt is to change the dollars in the NDDC account. I was scared to do that. He claims that I have poverty mentality, that I am afraid of money. All of you knew they accused me that I refuse to spend money. It is strange that today it's now about money. After that, he came to Port Harcourt 2 days after the inauguration. He said the first thing I should do is to make sure I change the dollars. I should remove Mr. Kautungo from being legal and send him on compulsory retirement, that we cannot have a northerner be the head of the legal team, of the legal unit. I said, I can't do that. I do not have the powers as just an IMC to act as a board. It is a criminal offense and it's against the public service rules for me to do that. He said I should remove all the other directors that refused to take his instruction during the time of Mrs. Aguagaga. That was the predecessor before I came. So he came also with a draft, which I've submitted, with a draft letter that I should write and put it on my letterhead, implicating Senator Mobushi for collecting contracts in NDDC. I told him that I will not, I'm a lawyer, and that whoever alleges must prove. The fact that Senator Mobushi is giving us trouble as IMC, you remember also that they did not recognize the IMC. I said, I will not do that letter. He said I was ungrateful and I refused to do the letter. Dr. Cairo now said that he will do the letter. If Akpabio tells him to kill, he will kill before he asks, why did he kill? I said, for me, I will not do the letter. At that place, there was Mr. Etiebet, who was the only staff of the NDDC that was present at that meeting. When he finished, he now asked Dr. Cairo to go and send for the letter-headed paper from the office. They now sent for the letter-headed paper. Dr. Cairo now did the letter, which I've also submitted to the committee, alleging that Senator Wabushi had contracts. Then he said, I must sign the cover letter. I said, if I sign any document from me seen by Mr. President, he will believe every line of it. So I will only write that the EDP, who should know about projects, have gone. The next thing that he told me, he said, I must make sure that all these people live and that the procurement, because apparently Akpabio, before I came, when himself and Festus Keyamo were ministers, their first meeting at the commission, he was awarded 30 contracts for distilling and water hyacinth. Then Mr. Linus, who was the director of finance, refused to sign because it did not follow due process. He also said that I should implicate the chairman of the House Committee, because the chairman of the House Committee had gone to Ondo State for a meeting to plan against him. I said, I don't even know that one. I've never even seen him. For Senator Mobushi, he was my classmate at law school, and we were called to bar the same day. However, I've not seen him since our call to bar, and didn't really remember him, which was like over 30 years ago. When we finished that, I went back. He began to say I should bring all the things, I should start paying. I said, I cannot pay. Water hyacinth and distilling. They said that the budget for water hyacinth and distilling was, I think, for about 3 to 5 billion. I'm not sure exactly how much. But that the NDDC, before I came, had overstretched itself to about 50 billion for water hyacinth and distilling. And so the National Assembly had written us, they have it also, they had written us that we should not pay for anything like that. He said, and guess what? Akpabio never signs any documents. He will always refuse to sign, but he will tell you to go and commit the fraud. For instance, he told me to go and raise a memo and give an emergency contract for flood victims. You people remember that he went round for flood.
All right. We are going to probably hear from her, but there are some other stuff I need to show you. Okay. For example, to give you a bit of the picture of what it is they've spent money on in the NDDC. The water hyacinth and distilling contract that jumped from 5 billion to 50 billion when Akpabio became the minister. That's the story that is about to bring him down, but it's Nigeria, so they're not going to do anything anyway. We are talking about contracts that were meant to be executed in Niger Delta region. So I've corrected that. We have 7 states currently listed as they are covered by NDDC, considered as Niger Delta. And I'm going to bring this. They mentioned a senator just now, and I'm going to bring this on your screen. Let me see if I can perfect it. One sec. So these are the contracts awarded to one single person. Okay, Senator Peter Nwaoboshi. These are supposed to be contracts that should have been executed in Niger Delta regions. Okay, and the cost. There is an energy solar supply, Obiagu solar street light, Lekwesi Umune Ochi, Abia State, which it says, the contractor they say is Agro1 Ventures, but I don't need to go into that. But the cost is 150 million naira for that solar power supply. There's another one, that is meant to be constructed in Bayelsa State, which cost 240 million naira. Provision of solar street light in Agudama, Epe Royal FM Road, Yenagua, Bebelebiri local government in Bayelsa State, 240 million naira. Another one, provision of solar street light in Afieshere, Ugeli North local government area of, I think that is Delta State, which cost 200 million naira. Another one is construction of street light in Ibusa, Lot 2, Oshimili local government, Oshimili North local government area, 200 million naira. Another one here, rehabilitation of solar street light and feasibility study of total capacity, capacity of installed renewable energy by NDDC, whatever that means. Look at that. Somewhere in Ondo State, that one was 249 million naira or 250 million naira there. Then another one on earth, rehabilitation and renovation of Ibusa General Hospital, Ochimili North local government in Delta State, 243 or 244 million naira. Another one, this one is road and bridge or bridges. Construction of Ibusa Internal Road, Lot 1, Oshimili North local government area in Delta State, 248 million naira. Another one, construction of Ibusa Internal Road, Lot 3, Oshimili North local government, Delta State, 248 million naira. Construction of Ibusa Internal Road, Lot 5, Oshimili North local government for 167 million naira. Construction of another Ibusa Internal Road, Lot 6, Oshimili North local government for 167 million naira. Construction of Ogume Abbey Road, Lot 7, Undokwa West local government of Delta State, 187 million naira. Emergency repair of Ediken Street, Agbo Obi Agbo, 164 million naira. Emergency repair of Onitsha Ugbo Daily Market Road, Mixed Secondary Road, it says here Umuolo Delta State, 442 or 443 million naira. Emergency repair of Unwabuzo Road, Ishika Guma, Amai Okpala Oku Road, Onodani Oso Road, leading to Iku, Umuahia or Umuaja, Delta State, 374 million naira. Emergency repair of AK Square, Ebologu Grammar School Road, Umusadebe Ekilibi Road, Utagbo. I don't know what that means seriously, but it's in Delta State, 260 million naira. Let me see if I can see the last one. And the last one here is emergency repair of Afo Okolori Road, Afo, Delta State, 311 million naira awarded to one single person by the NDDC because they own it. And I don't know if all those roads were constructed or if they were delivered. That's the part of the investigation that is ongoing. The man in the middle of all of it, Akpabio, you will at least want to hear from him. Apart from the fact that he started talking about, he was talking about the lady, not, what do you call it? Not being married. Apart from that, the lady is not being married, married or divorced for husband and all that jargons as his defense. He eventually honored the invitation of the, the committee investigating this. He met with investigating this. So I'm just going to bring myself back on now before we get to Akpabio. So I'm going to bring that of Akpabio's response to all those allegations levied against him by Miss Joy. So one sec, at least before we continue. One moment. The engineer, I'm just multitasking, by the way. So yes, let's get it on. What did Akpabio say about the allegation?
There's no way I would have known the details of what was going on in the 19 years until I became a minister supervising the NDDC. So I used to be very angry but I had no control because it's a federal agency, and I was a state governor. But I remember one instance, Ibuno Road from Eket to where they call Openica, where ExxonMobil has the operational headquarters there. NDDC messed up that road for 11 years. One day I went on a visit, 2 years to the end of my tenure, and I got angry and took over the road. I said, I won't wait for NDDC now. They kept variation upon variation, change of contractor. And please, let me even mention something you must note. Every contractor that comes to you here or outside there has up to 200 companies. So when they want to split this contract, they can give one contractor the job, but he will bring at least 50 to 60, 70 companies. How do I know this? I'll give you a document. That last sacrifice thing you are talking about, when I heard about the payment, up to 2.9 billion, immediately I carried the telephone and I asked. They said, yes, that it includes medical equipment, includes this, includes that. I said, stop until we finish with this year budget. That was in general. So they did not pay 4 billion as speculated in the media. They stopped at that 2.9. So when eventually I met somebody in somebody's house, and then the man came and said, oh, this is the man who handled that software. Like I mentioned in name, Dr. Lulu. I said, sir, we don't have a budget. That was why I stopped the pay for that payment. I did not authorize that payment. He said, no, you don't need to authorize because they are segmented within the threshold of the management. I said, so how much is left? He said, 972 million. I said, write to me as a minister. If it is true that we verify and evaluate, that is the instruction I gave to the Executive Director Project. Verify, evaluate, and be certain. So that I will authorize. He wrote to me and attached 22 companies for the balance of 972 million. 22 companies, I have it here. So that 972 million will come under 32 companies. These are things we have to check. And then when the Executive Director went on the field, some roads were 600 million. Then contractors ended up with 260 million naira. And they complained that they are cutting their money. They are taking 40%. They are collecting percentages. And I called him and said, Executive Director, this allegation. He said, no, sir, that the benefit goes to the commission. He said, sir, can you imagine in just either 10 or 12 contracts, we save 1.6 billion because the contracts, though emergency, were overvalued. The man that collects the money thinks that the commission or the reduction goes to the management, but the reduction goes to the commission. And of course, the press will not want to hear that. Nobody will praise them for that. They will only praise the contractor for saying they collected 30% or 40% of my contract, not knowing that the benefit goes to the commission. So these issues probably were there, but I didn't have the authority over it. Now I have the authority over it. And I assure you, working with the parliament, working with the National Assembly will bring these things to an end. That is why Mr. President is determined to go ahead with the forensic audit, and that's why the June 12th address of Mr. President emphasized on the NDDC in about 3 different paragraphs. It can't be business as usual. Even as I speak with you now, the fact that in 24 years they can move.
He is lying. Okay. Listen to that, what he said there. Right? They give a contract. Listen, they give a contract. Then they collect percentage from the contractors. 30% of the contract, as they now call it commission. They say when they award contracts, listen, they believe he's talking to fools like him, right? Government put out a bidding and say, we want to construct this and that road, and we want you to bid for them. Now you bid for the road and you say, I will construct the road for 10 naira. They say, oh, you win the bid. We will give you the contract for 10 naira. Then when it is time for them to pay you, they pay you 70% of your money and they take 30%. So that 30%, Akpabio is now saying, they didn't tell the contractor that 30% they are taking from their money is going back to the commission. So they have saved 1.6 billion by cutting back, because that is their own way of cutting back overvalued contracts. They know their audience. They do. Honestly speaking, these guys, you will think they are not smart. That sounds stupid, Abi, because they know that most of their audience are stupid. and they will believe them. Number one, it is illegal if it is not part of a, when you say you have a contract that says this is what this project will cost. We all know how politicians are taking kickback, how they are taking cut from contract to make sure that the contract is either substandard or it's never executed. That is the minister for Niger Delta, justifying them taking 30% from every contract. So if you collect a 2 billion contract, they will take 30% of that 2 billion. So because everybody is now asking for that corruption, they say, no, we are keeping the money. You are even supposed to praise us because we are keeping the money for you. It's here. Look. It's here. We have saved 1.something billion. Like they are talking to fools. Let me tell you what they have been using the money they are stealing for. Or the way they have been spending the money in Niger Delta, NDDC, Niger Delta Development Commission, they call them. This is what they have been using the money on, okay? I'm coming to that now. Just one sec. So when they allocate money for projects in the NDDC, all these things you are seeing, millions, billions. For COVID-19, they said they were building isolation center for NCDC. The people who said they spend 1.5 billion around themselves for helping you to fight coronavirus, the NCDC, So NDDC, you see, it's so confusing, isn't it? The NCDC are the one in charge of coronavirus. NDDC is the one in charge of development of Niger Delta region, okay? And in the last, this is mental, right? I'm coming. Let me take this off there so that you can see it top down. This is what they have split on TVC News so far. The breakdown of how they spent 81.5 billion naira, NDDCO, the money that they were supposed to use to at least begin to make life better for their people. This is what they spend the money on. 85.6 million naira for overseas travel, 1.3 billion naira for community relations, consulting, paying the unemployed Niger Delta youth, the ones they have turned to militants, the ones that they bribe, or the ones that you will never do anything in Niger Delta, any development at all, except you pay money for, what do they call the money again? Help me. What do you call the money in Niger Delta? The money they collect from you if you want to open a business, or if you want to build a house, or you want to construct a road. So maybe that's what they spend the money on. Consultancy, 1.3 billion naira. Condolences for going to greet people who die, or people who lost families in Niger Delta. They spent 122.9 million naira. They say consultancy. Consultancy is if someone is advising them on anything, they pay 83 million naira for that. For COVID-19, coronavirus, they spent 31.4 billion. I hope they have built you very lovely isolation centers in Niger Delta now. If they never build you all those things, you're supposed to reject them or fight them because they have spent 31.4 billion already. For DTA, whatever that means, 486 million. Impressed, that's how much they pay themselves for attending meetings or sitting down together to marry and discuss how to share money. They still pay themselves money to share money. That is the meeting. For Lassa Viva, they said they spent 1.95 billion on Lassa Viva. For legal services, they spent 900 million. For maintenance, they spent 220 million. Niger Delta region, none of them is spent on the Ogoniland cleanup. None is spent on education. None is spent on healthcare, to be precise. COVID-19 spending was stolen because I don't think they built you any, what do you call it? Let me show you this video from my, what is going on after the, one sec. Let me get my sec back on. Sorry, guys, I'm not so perfect, I'm getting used to it. Hopefully, when we get to the Diaspora Radio studio, we will have our own technical engineer who will be in charge of us changing over. I will just be there doing all my drama. So let's go to Port Harcourt. Immediately that Mrs. Joy accused Akpabio of trying to rape her, and at the same time trying to steal money which he awarded to himself, drama began. So they said they wanted to arrest her for some reason. Let me see if I can find some of my videos, if I still have them. So now we can go bail am. This is what
Come back.
that is Wike trying to rescue her. But before Wike came to that scene, something happened. But I'm going to match that with what the police commissioner said when this happened. But before then, they sent policemen to her house in Port Harcourt early in the morning, the day she was meant to travel to Abuja to go and testify against Akpabio in the House of Representatives. She was stopped from leaving her house, and the policemen took over her house. This is what happened. And before then, I think I should show you this first or the other one, because the commissioner of police is in this video. And I think that I should show you first, because that one shows the police, the same police, Nigeria police. The police IG said he didn't send them. The commissioner of police said he didn't send them on that day too. But later, the commissioner of police said she is wanted because she is a criminal. I don't understand how she became a criminal when an ongoing investigation is what led to the whole wahala in the first place. But watch this. Maybe this will help.
He will hand her over.
Okay. And yeah, so you see, we're seeing footage now, sir. I don't know if you can see this. As an officer actually trying to physically break into her residence. Are you satisfied with the process that was executed by your command here, with footage of them trying to break into that door?
I believe that's a photo trick.
A photo trick? What? No, sorry, that's live footage. It's not a photo trick. Are you satisfied with the process?
Did you hear that? Okay. Now, this is the other part of the interview. The same police commissioner in Rivers State that said they didn't send any police to her house. The police IG said he didn't send any police to her house. She was meant to travel to Abuja, but they blocked the house and they wanted to arrest her. For some reason, the same police commissioner said this. Listen.
The headlines today, I mean, the Governor Wike is now asking that there be an investigation into what's happened. So from your standpoint, will there not be an investigation, since you're now saying this was an invite that was not honored? Is there no further investigation to happen at this point?
Definitely, we expect the governor to turn her on, because the officers were not on illegal duty. If he is trying to say that he feared he wanted to protect his citizen, and now that he realized that the officers on a legitimate duty, reasons goes to show that he should turn her over to police to continue their investigation, of which I believe he will do that. He cannot protect a criminal.
Okay, well, are you, by saying you can't protect a criminal, I mean, she hasn't been charged with anything, has she?
She's under suspicious. Investigation will show whether she's culpable or not. But when investigation is being obstructed, how do you come up with a conclusive investigation?
Okay, so I guess what's confusing people is that if it's an official investigation, there would be an official, I guess if she's under suspicion, there would be an official charge for what she's being suspected of committing, as opposed to you sounding like it's just an invite where you just wanted to have a chat with her. So how do we gauge that? Which is it?
They were there to invite her, which the normal procedures were followed. They introduced themselves to her. They explained their mission to her, what she received, and did not cooperate with them. only for her to call the governor who came into her residence. Had it been she followed them, all this drama couldn't have arisen.
Oh, okay, thank you for that. But she also did say on the morning show yesterday when she called in that she did place a call to your River State Command, and they were told, or at least the response she got was that they were not aware that any such officers were being headed to her home to invite her for anything.
Do you see how a police officer is reasoning? That is a police commissioner in Nigeria. You would expect that whoever will become a police commissioner should be a smart, intelligent, educated individual. Did you see how he's sounding? That is a police chief in Port Harcourt. Right? Well, I've had a bit of a field there, and it is not good. Sincerely speaking, it is rotten. So, let me take you through another part of this conversation. It's very important before I go, and that has to do with so far so good. When the looting, just to let you know that the looting and relooting of Nigeria is, currently has no tribe, it has no religion, it has no political party. It's just about criminals, opportunists that will continue to juggle your head in achieving whatever they want to achieve. But let me just tell you this. This information is an update on the, on the level of destruction that incompetence, corruption, and greed of those who call themselves your leaders has brought upon you as a people. Now, look at this image on your screen. That is the total numbers of those who have been killed in Nigeria in 6 months alone, from January 2020 to June 2020. Among these figures you are seeing on your screen, we have 2,503 people as reported number of deaths from January to June. That's the total number reported. And from that, 2,164 are civilians. These are people who died through, through terrorism and other related ones. In fact, violent death. All right. So they were killed by terrorists. 2,164 are civilians, while 339 are security men and women. 259 of them are soldiers. 66 of them are police officers. 8 of them are naval officers. 3 of them are custom officers, and 3 are NDDC officers. They were killed by terrorists in the last 6 months in Nigeria. And the violent attacks that leads to all this death from banditry, those who get killed by bandits and pillage attacks are 1,297. Those who died from Boko Haram and ISWAP insurgents alone are 584. Those who died from communal clashes, as they call it, are 242 people. The death from Asmen attack, the Fulani terrorists killing people, they have managed to kill 135 people in the last 6 months alone. While those who died from court clashes, some of you morons who are killing yourself because of courtism, in the last 6 months alone, they have reported over 82 people killed. And those 80 people have been killed from extrajudicial killings. They were killed by either policemen, by military, or any uniformed security officers in Nigeria. In 6 months, 80 have been killed. 60 people have died from isolated attacks. These are the attacks that are remote. Like, they are attacking these 2-3 villages that are cut off from a particular local government, mainly in the north. And 60 people have died, reported. We have had 12 deaths from mob actions. Those of you who have burned down those who stole phones, those who pickpocket, and those who stole Gari and all those in Nigeria. In 6 months, you have killed 12. And then also, you have also killed 7 people for those who have been politically motivated, politically motivated violence in the last 6 months alone. And lastly, you have killed 4 people from those who have died from pirate attack on the sea. These are verifiable facts. Now let's go by region. Breakdown of death by region. Northwest alone have recorded 856 people killed, 280 in Katsina, 263 in Kaduna, 197 in Zamfara, 96 in Sokoto, 10 in Kano, 10 in Jigawa. They were killed by either terrorists or Boko Haram terrorists or the Fulani terrorists. In the Northeast, 882 people have been killed in 6 months alone. 583 in Borno, 99 in Adamawa, 125 in Taraba, 74 in Yobe, and 1 person killed in Bauchi. And that is a total of 882 people killed in 6 months. In the North Central, 451 people have been killed in the last 6 months by terrorists and other violent-related death. In Plateau State, 109 people have been killed. In Niger State, 152 people. In Kogi State, 67. In Benue State, 99. In Abuja alone, 11. In Nasarawa, 9. In Kwara, 4. Now to South, which we call the Niger Delta Region. 189 people have been reportedly killed in the last 6 months by violence means alone. And these are 71 people killed in Delta State, 26 people killed in Edo State, 32 people killed in Cross River State, 31 people killed in River State, 22 people killed in Bayelsa State, 7 people killed in Akwa Ibom State. In Southwest, the Yoruba land, we have had 63 people killed violently from terrorist attack, either by, the terror group called the Fulani Terrorist Herdsmen. We have reported 63 people killed in the last 6 months alone in 2020. 18 people have been killed in Lagos. 17 people have been killed in Ondo. Lagos death can be probably reported to be cultist related. I know how many of those clashes we have reported in this year alone. So, in Ondo State, 17 people have been killed. In Ogun State, 10 people have been killed violently. In Oyo State, 9 people have been reportedly killed. And in Osun State, 3 people. Ekiti State reported 6 people killed violently from the insecurity that is spreading across. In the southeast of Nigeria, the Biafra land, the Igbo land, we have a reported 62 people killed violently from either attacks, Fulani attacks, or court-related attack, and so on. And the numbers spread across. In Anambra State, we have a reported 22 people killed in 6 months. Ebonyi have reported 20. Abia have reported 13. Imo have reported 5. Enugu has reported 2. And that is a total of 62 people killed in the last 6 months. How many do you think will die again before the end of this year from the violent attack from the criminal organization highly protected by the system that says you cannot attack them, you cannot defend yourself, you cannot report them, and if you continue to speak up against this, you will be arrested, your liberty will be confiscated, and you will kiss that freedom you have a goodbye. That is the country that you have. You can pretend it's not bad, but guess what? You see all those numbers, they look like statistics, right? But we are talking about human beings who have been killed, those who are not supposed to die. They didn't die for any for any natural reason. They died because Nigeria failed them. They died because you allowed those your criminals you love to defend to continue to loot from you. Do you want to wait till you become a victim too? Well, we will review this again in December. And I hope by then you would have summed up the courage enough to truly reject them and stop calling yourself a Nigerian. At least, if you have to be a Nigerian, be a Nigerian literally, because it is the only option you have now. Do not, or should stop beating your chest or thumping your chest about a country that gives no damn about you. Look at the life of this young man. Before I go, I decided to play the video as part of what I will use to round up. For those of you who are still managing to survive now, don't worry. If you don't kill Nigeria, Nigeria is going to eventually kill you. We don't know when, but it's going to happen. And this is one of the reasons of those dreams killed. And there are many of you that are going to end up like this or worse. Watch this.
Just Saturday, I lost in the traffic lights. I didn't me lost the driver's side. All of all phone long. In the wallet back, your phone. But then lost you, but a woman to that bag guy, but a woman to shoot the taxi. Damatas in the point of my bar, Lusudi. We have to do the bus stop, Bole. I see 7 points in there. One year I won't go Latin book with them, which you don't suspect me. Whatever for your my voice, my yoke cooler money. By my local again, no traffic light. About it goes to Bamu, Bamina Jafun, but my goes to Bamuti. My Bafu can be two traffic light, but you move with Losikaja. But you go again, Losino goes to Expressway Baga, Kara, Mawa Uberena, it goes to Batimu. Traffic lights, Mawa Bessa. The Woodloma Yofon key, or Timo Saturday, no Musa. I for once. Me pick it pocket to them. Was it them to the Toba putting Mushuai? Man to man Toba Pony Kaja, with the Toba Pony Secretariat. 7 of man Toba Pony anywhere. Anywhere, the bad in Toba, but why your phone, you say good man tafu, say go my 12, but Baba Yabo, and man tafu. I mean, they remove the Toba, but by that time, Baba no remote small start, small start, but the fairless. But the most part, the fairless, my dear Ashoma, my she, my little double, my shifaji.
Do you hear that? They were supposed to be young people. But let me tell you something. There are millions of them that Nigeria has destroyed. Those ones are from Yoruba land, right? They are supposed to be my brothers and sisters. I mean, sorry, my brothers rather, right? There are many, many like that the system has destroyed. But some of you are ignorantly defending it because you have no clue of what you are doing to yourselves. Defending them while they steal from you is the worst thing you have done to yourselves. When you begin to withdraw, when you begin to stop listening to their lies, when you begin to see through the lies in all truest sense of it, you know what will happen? You will stop them. And when you stop them, you will end this. And most of you will end up joining us in breaking up that lie. It is not a country. And the moment you stop telling yourself that lie, right? Trust me, the moment you begin to feel the better feeling of freedom, because the more you try to make up lies for them, to defend them, the more they will disappoint you and disgrace you. They are used to it. And nobody can shame the shameless people. It's not possible. You can't shame the shameless. Why are you defending the shameless people? Thieves, common rogues, because they look rich? Huh? Or because they look like they're educated? There is no educated person that will feel comfortable stealing. Trust me, no educated person. Your leaders are rogues, whether they are Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, Igbo, Ijo, Ishakiri. They can use all manner of trick in the book to tell you that they speak for you. But look around you. It is all jobbing. When you stop listening to them and you start listening to yourselves, you know what will happen? They will stop deceiving you. They will stop convincing you. And when you do that, you will begin to withdraw. You will begin to reduce their influence. And once their influence is gone, once your support is gone, there is nothing left. All the invisibility you see them with, all the mopo, the soldiers and all of them guiding them, is because they still have you to come back to lie to. It is not because those people are carrying gun. It is because some of you are ready without gun to die for them. The moment you stop, those people carrying gun after them, they will not be able to protect them. Trust me, because those are not the power they have. Those are just the ones they are using to ward you off from them. But the day you withdraw that your support, the day you withdraw that your sympathy, the day you no longer believe in that religion deceit that they are using to deceive you, the day you no longer believe in that political deceit that they are using to deceive you, the day you no longer believe in that tribal deceit that they are using to divide you, the day you no longer give them power, the lifeline they rely on to divide you, to continue to milk you, the day you stop is the day we will begin to have that conversation on how many countries we should break Nigeria into, because you will be so happy to want to fight for a country that you will call yours, and you will begin, or you will be involved in our foundation, in our birth. You are not involved in the birth of Nigeria. Stop defending her. It is fake. And the sooner you realize, the better. It's not working for you. It won't work for you. No matter how much you do it, it will never work. It is not a cause. It is just what it is. I'm going to drop the line here. I'm going to go to bed soon. Tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day. We are going to have a Sega. Sega will come here and is going to come and speak on the systemic, those ones, Sega. You know Sega now, Sega Link. He's been fighting systemic failure, rescuing Nigerians from the hand and the claws of the official Boko Haram, SARS. You know him. Tomorrow I want him to come here. There are so many things he's involved in. He will tell us more. You will understand more the deep rot that you call a country. Okay? And you can form your opinion afterward. I'm also bringing to us, that our brother, the one that fired this video, let me go and look for that video. Femi Farotimi, if I'm not mistaken, let me search for him and I'll show you his video so that you have an idea who is coming to talk to us tomorrow. It's going to be fire. Fire for fire. Let me check. Mr. Farotimi. Ile Farotimi. So watch you will listen to him now. That's the person that will come in to join. Is going to join Sega and myself tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. Trust me, it's going to be so interesting. And I hope they will be able to give me up to 2 hours of their time. So let me show you the man that is going to come here to speak to us tomorrow. Okay? I'll bring him up now. 1 sec. Then I'll give him the needed volume just to make sure that you can hear him as well. Bear with me.
Charge Magu, then I'll be interested in talking about the Magu issue. There is nothing there. It's just another distraction. They're having their family squabble. Nothing will happen to Magu.
Listen to him.
Absolutely nothing will happen to him. I can tell you ahead of time. So please, let's not fool ourselves. It's just a circus.
Well, are you more engaged then by what's going on with the Edo State elections? More recently, we had the two heads of, the
Nigerian people. But come back to Nigeria.
Just pardon me. I'm trying to work it out.
The Hausa Fulani are the oppressors. Let me tell you.
That's going to be our guy.
I will not be surprised if they start telling me that Magu is the new saint. We should all coalesce around and begin to crown Osana in 2023. The only people who never ever seem to understand the fact that their own interests have never mattered are the Nigerian people themselves. You tell me, the Hausa Fulani are the oppressors. Let me tell you, the worst phase of poverty you will find in Nigeria is in the northern part of Nigeria. You will find all sorts of Nigerians working as road sweepers, toilet washers, doing all sorts of menial jobs wherever you go in the world. And some of them do it with qualifications. You will not find a Fulani man, cab driver or anything of the sort abroad. So it's very easy to buy into that stupid stereotype of the Fulani being the oppressor of the Nigerian people. But come back to Nigeria. The same Nigerians you find abroad willing to do the menial job because of the opportunities afforded, because when they go there, they know that even if you are a street sweeper, your children still have access to good schools. They have access to you yourself, you have access to healthcare. Look at the way they are dying like flies. With all the stealing, their brains have not told them that COVID-19 has changed the game. They still think it's the same old stupid games. If you can afford good healthcare, what about the drivers? What about your guards? What about all the people who walk around you? COVID is the leveler. Everybody will harvest this. But here is the point. As long as we continue to fool ourselves into thinking that we can somehow appoint wolves to guard the flock and then expect that the wolves will become vegetarians, we deny the evidence of our own eyes. We see these things and yet we deny it. Oshiomhole spoke these words. They're out in the open, it's all over the place, and yet the same man comes out and is preaching to the people that the man he testified was a thief. Anyway, thinking about it though, how can Oshiomhole testify to the character of anyone?
That's gonna be our guest tomorrow. It's gonna come here to blaze. Yeah, it's gonna blaze and blast. I love people like that. And then we will take it on after that. Okay. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. So we are going to call it a night now. One moment. So Dele Farotimi will be our guest tomorrow. So for those who are going to join us, I will let you know when this is going to start tomorrow. Okay, maybe I will have the money. We'll have our money sermon first. Prepare you all for the real show, and then I'll tell you when this is going to be tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be 3 o'clock, by the way. I think I remember we have made the time up now, so it's going to be 3 o'clock. And from me to you, good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Maiyegun Mawi. Maiyegun today. Maiyegun today. Maiyegun today. Bye-bye. Jelue Suraki. Maiyegun today. Jelue Suraki. Ìgbẹ́ni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe. Yeah. Gbogbo Jelue Suraki. Ní bá ti